Dead Season is a mysterious podcast for D&D nerds, hosted by Noct Brone.
Find more ways to support our show in the episode description.
In a realm beyond the living, a group of spiritual souls, sleuthing through death's mystery, fate decided by dice rolls. When a knocked on your beating heart, and now your souls can't depart. Dead season is nigh, cries of smoking gun the doors. Talroth, Xelborath, Wilderton, Noct Brone!
You guys are currently fighting against these pieces of the horror that has broken off from the initial horror. It split itself into 6 pieces. There was a blue, slate gray, and green horror that attacked you. The other 3 horrors attacked Shrubby and have teleported away. Chai, you were also teleported away. And in fact, Chai, it is
Spirited
going to
away.
be your turn. Chai, roll me 2d4 plus 2.
Okay. Wow.
No, Javi's good at those.
Yeah,
That was
Javi's
his
great
exact
at
thing.
D4s. We don't know. That was a 1 and a 4.
So 5 plus 2. As you open your eyes, Chai, you notice a suffocating darkness. You are cocooned in an intricate web, the threads sticky and constricting. The air is thick with unsettling silence that is only broken by the faint skittering of unseen legs. Roll me a nature check.
Oh my goodness. You're torturing me specifically. for
On
this.
purpose, yes.
They're covered in peanut butter.
Yeah, I was about to say, yeah.
14.
Okay, with a 14, you have heard stories from the Firbolg library of Driders. You are in a Drider Hatchling's nest, the heart of it. A grotesque marriage between silk and shadow. This arachnid offspring, with their spindly legs and hundreds of eyes placed upon their humanoid heads, reflect an eerie red glow that hover ominously over you as you look up. The strands of web shudder with an unnatural lurch as their fangs are dripping with hungry venom. The shadowy silhouette of the horror that still clings to your body lurches the nest and wakes 7 Drider Hatchlings. The shadowy creature, after shaking the nest, tightens its toothy grip on you. You are still grappled by it, and it is feeding off the fear and despair that seem to permeate through you. What would you like to do?
I just kind of assumed I feel like stuck in this web. Like I
Yes.
can't, easily just run away, right?
Feel entrenched in the middle of this web. Actually, go ahead and make me a strength saving throw on the beginning of your turn.
9.
With a 9, the webs start to cling to your wrists. And yes, you are grappled by the horror, but you are also grappled by this webbing. It doesn't have any additional effect, just for the sake of uncomfortableness.
Have the Drider Hatchlings seen me, or are they just going towards the feeling?
They have not seen you. They rolled a natural 1. They sense something is in their web. The 7 of them are crawling your direction. However, they have not noticed what is in their web.
I would like to cast Thaumaturgy to cause harmless tremors in the ground or on the web away from me as far as I can reach it.
Roll me a performance check as you do this.
Okay.
And
So
do it
wait,
with advantage, because I absolutely love that use of the spell.
Thank you. That's a 12.
A 12. Okay, roll me 2d4.
You make Cage's job hard.
Okay.
I feel like everybody else, we either fail or succeed, and so he knows. But Brooke's always like just that subpar level, like 10,
Hey,
12.
hey, that is an improvement from sucking every roll. And then he has to like creatively try to find a way not to kill me.
It's like, yeah, it's another nat 1, but 3 doesn't count.
You actually have a punch card every 10. Every 10 nat 1.
It's a nat 20.
It's
Oh
a
my
nat
gosh,
20.
you should do that.
Don't worry, I
You
didn't-
should do that. I got a 4 for those 2d4 rolls.
So 4 of the 7 Driders are not going to notice you. The other 3 have honed in on your location as these tremors have kind of pinpointed for them where you are.
I would like to use my bonus action to cast Hidden Step so that I magically turn invisible until the start of my next turn or until I attack or make a damage roll.
Yes, so you turn invisible on your next turn. They might just lose you. With that, is that the end of your turn, Chai?
That is the end of my turn.
All right, we are going to head back over to Talroth. You've just watched Chai and Shrubby be transported away by 4 of these horrors. You are face to face with a blue and green horror. Go ahead and make me a wisdom saving throw.
Ooh, not great. 10.
Would you say Talroth has more fear or anxiety in his heart?
Anxiety. Knowing that we are in her memory and she is no longer around
Yes.
definitely causes him to...
I thought it was a sentimental thing at first.
No, sorry.
This is all business.
The blue horror dead eyes at you with its big zipper mouth, and it opens and you see the eyes that look like Talroth's eyes, your own eyes, peering back at yourself, and it transforms into a grotesque formation of your own face, and it looks at you and it says,
Chai is gone. You are alone. This memory is your tomb.
it is your turn.
Okay. Do I not take any negative effects otherwise?
You take 3 points of psychic damage
That's what you
as this horror
Teacher, do
delves
we have
into
a
your mind.
I failed
And-
a saving throw.
As this thought kind of pressures into your mind, your nose starts to bleed. And you start feeling this horror might be right. This memory you could become lost in and you could die here.
We need to find that woman. Are any of the blobs injured?
Both of the horrors that are in front of you were attacked by Javi's Thunderwave spell. They each have 5 hit points taken off of them.
Okay. I'm going to toll the dead, the blue one. I'll take out a bell from my waist and just goom, 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 and have waves head towards him of necrotic energy and cast Toll the Dead. So they have to make believe it's a wisdom saving throw.
That is a natural 2, so
Okay.
regardless,
Fails.
will fail.
So since it is already damaged, takes 1d12 of damage because he's already injured.
Yes.
So 7 points of necrotic damage.
And that was the blue, correct?
Correct.
12 hit points have been dealt to this blue horror. As you're honing in more on this horror, go ahead and make me a history check as you feel familiar to whatever this horror is evoking out of your emotions.
1. Not a natural 1, but a 1.
A good kind.
Yeah.
A good kind
A
of
dirty
one.
one.
Just
Yes.
regular failing.
You are unable to determine what emotion this is evoking from you.
Can I back up an additional 10 feet?
Back up an additional 10 feet, so you're now 40 feet away from the horrors. And with that, Zell, you are up. You just watched Talroth ring a bell. Familiar because the bell that you got in the prequel sessions that has no hammer, and you recall that this bell with no hammer has a connection to your soul that Talroth or yourself is supposed to ring once you have completed whatever you need for you to move on. What would you like to do as you're watching? Again, Chai's gone. You're in Chai's memory.
I'm going to, as a bonus action, I'm going to provide the help action by my primary focus is I'm going to be looking for Chai, but I'm going to run in between him and the blue horror. On guard, foe! And run by, but then instead of attacking it, I'm going to pivot and, like, start, like, running around looking for Chai.
Yeah, roll me a perception. Yeah, absolutely.
19! It's 19.
19, okay. With a 19, you have not been traveling with Chai for very long, but as you look north in the distance towards where Shrubby was, you sense to the southeast of your position, you hear a peep of fright in a very southern accent in the southeast corner of you. You are able, with a 19, you're able to kind of discern it's not far.
Yeah, I dash.
Yes, so you run 10 feet towards the horrors, and then you run 50 feet towards the direction of the peep that you heard, and you are looking at a gigantic dome-like spider web that is suspended in the trees, and you are able to discern with a 19, Chai is inside of this, but so is an army of Drider Hatchlings.
Stand strong, Talroth. I shall get Chai. And I'll... Boom. I'm going to be scared of the Drider, but we're going to go.
You've now found where Chai is in the middle of this forest. Javi, you are up. Talroth has transported 40 feet away. Chai has teleported away with a monster. And Zell has ran after Chai, has seemingly found Chai. You can hear in the distance of the forest that he says, "Ha-ha! You will not best me, foe!" And then what would you like to do with your turn?
We're still being attacked.
Yes.
Correct.
Actively
Okay,
by two
so I am
horrors.
literally right next to, I think that's the blue horror, right?
Yes, blue
Okay.
and green horror are both next to you.
I think Javi's just gonna go stand up, and you'll see him like kind of like get his thunder gauntlets like ready to go. He'll
Fist
cast
pump to...
just a yep,
Love
and
that.
I'll cast booming blade.
Okay, wonderful.
So the gauntlets will be surrounded by energy. You'll just see almost like a aura emanate off of them, little sparks coming off of them, and then he's gonna make a melee attack with his gauntlets against the blue horror.
Okay, so the blue horror is the one that has been attacked twice.
That's gonna be a 24 to hit.
Wow, okay.
Yeah.
24 to hit. The creature's AC is about half of that.
8 thunder damage, so as he makes contact with it, there'll be just like a little, almost like concussive force just boom off of the glove when it makes contact, right? And then if that horror tries to move, they will take an additional 1d8 of thunder damage because of Booming Blade.
Roll me a d8.
2.
As you are dealing all this damage to this blue horror, go ahead and make me a wisdom saving throw.
Okay, and I actually know exactly what Javi will say as he does this. He's not going to even mention Chai. He's not going to talk to anybody. He's just going to be laughing. 7.
The creature looks at you. Its face again forms like it did with Talroth, and it forms into the gross amalgamation of a blue face of Javi, and it looks at you.
Where's Finn? Finn is gone.
And you are going to take 2 points of psychic damage as you feel towards where Finn is, and Finn is indeed gone.
God, you kidding me? Is that going to be my whole character trope?
That's your-
Is I'm
that's
just going to
it.
be chasing
That's
that robot
it.
the
Yep.
whole game? I mean, where did you go?
It is going to be the horror's turn. So the horror is going to first... Chai, you are grappled by the slate gray horror. Go ahead and roll me a d6.
Turns out the healer utility support caster really struggles by herself in combat.
What do you mean?
Madam! Are you okay?
I am going to speak up, especially knowing that, like, at this point, 3 of the small Driders, or Drider Hatchlings, is that what you said? 3 of the Hatchlings are heading towards me, so, you know, they know I'm there at this point. Oh my goodness, I'm so glad that somebody is here right now. I can't do this by myself. I'm not okay. If you could help me out, that would be greatly appreciated.
You are okay. You've got this, and I shall be in there soon.
Great. Okay, Cha, you've got this. You're not alone.
And roll me a d6.
Okay. I rolled a 6 out of 6. Is it a good 6 or a bad 6?
With a 6, as this creature is clamped on to your waist with its zipper-like mouth, it forms into the face of your son, the son that you banished, or at least were part of banishing from your Firbolg tribe because he made a simple mistake. And you are going to take 4 points of psychic damage as your head is spinning with these thoughts of, I could have saved my son. I could have taught him. I could have taught the village elders of why he did what he did. He was only following my instruction. And then the creature's face that looks like your son puts a finger up to his mouth and goes, shh, and teleports away. You are now left alone with a group of Driders that are honing in on your position as we speak. But with that, we're going to go over to the blue and the green. Seeing that Javi is the only person close enough that they can both get to, they're going to both attack at you with a soul bite.
Yeah.
One of them gets a 17 to hit.
Miss. Armor,
Figured.
baby.
Armorer. And then the other gets an 18 to hit, which does
It's-
not... Oh, it does hit?
I took the other infusion.
Oh, shoot. All right.
So I
Well,
let my AC drop a little bit.
8 points of psychic damage as the green horror is going to bite on to you as well. You feel your soul start to feel the sense of anxiety. What is the deepest anxiety in Javi's feelings right now?
He's anxious about where Finn is. He
Yeah.
thought Finn was locked into his shoulder piece. So probably that more than anything.
Yeah, so you're now thinking, where's Finn? Why does Finn keep leaving me? I made this spider to be my familiar, and now it's what?
Run away.
It keeps running away to go hang out with Puddle, to go hang out with Chai.
Fools!
You're going to take 8 points of psychic damage as a pounding headache is going to hit you with this sense of anxiety, and your chest is going to start to tighten up, and you're going to have a hard time breathing. That is going to be the end of the horror's turn. Chai, roll me a luck check. That is just a straight d20, no adds necessary, just a 20.
So many rolls this episode for me. I'm really not improving myself. 5.
With a 5, the Driders are going to hone. Roll me a d4.
4.
Okay, so that means all 7 Driders are going to hone in on your position, and each of them is going to take a bite action against you as
I'm gonna die.
You are in. Yeah, I hope not.
I'm going
Sounds
to
like you really
die.
care.
I'm going to die again.
A 21 to hit,
Yeah.
a 14 to hit,
Meets beats.
a
got it,
10
we
to
got
hit, a 5 to hit, a natural 1, an 18, so 3 will hit so far, and then the last one,
They're just little
a 17
hatchlings.
to hit.
Little babies.
A 7, so that means 4 of the 7 are going to hit. The first one will deal 3 points of poison damage and 5 points of
Oh, you dead.
She's going down for
poison
sure.
damage. The second one will deal 4 points of piercing damage and 4 points of poison damage. The third one will deal 4 points of poisoning damage and 6 points of piercing damage. And then the last one will deal 6 points of piercing damage and 3 points of poison damage.
That almost outright killed me.
Like almost over double?
Yeah.
Okay.
But I am as they say, down.
Qu'est-ce que c'est? Down.
Como se dice?
Como se dice
What did he
down?
say?
Chai, actually, this is a great time to bring up, when did you go down?
Like the second person who hit me.
Once you are down, you take a failed death saving throw every single attack afterwards. So you have two.
And you died on the second.
You went down on the second one. You had one failed death saving throw on the third attack, and then another failed death saving throw on the fourth attack. So this is a perfect time for me to bring up.
This is the perfect time to point out that I just got a notebook with my character's name on it.
Well, it'll be a good memoriam and the life they didn't lead.
An empty book.
Yeah,
framed on
you
the wall.
haven't filled it out, right?
Look.
That's fitting.
Just an empty book.
Yeah.
Just an empty book. Just have your next character also be named Chai, also be a cleric. But this is a perfect time for me to bring up what I've only brought up to you guys in the cast-only chat. Generally in D&D, once you are down, you are out. That is it. And then you have to make failed death saving throws every single time. However, you guys are dead already. So how do you kill a dead soul? You split their soul. A soul, as we've established prior to in this podcast, is made up of 6 parts. Yes. Instead of having 3 failed death saving throws, we have 6. You are not knocked unconscious. You are in levels of your soul splitting. So I believe you've taken 2 failed death saving throws, correct?
Yes.
So you have gone through 2 levels of soul splitting. The first one being the erosion of the essence. In this initial stage, your mental faculties start to deteriorate. A -1 penalty is applied to each of your D20 checks, and every action becomes clouded, making it more challenging to succeed in your endeavor. And then the second level of soul splitting is called a fractured psyche. So this is where your character currently is. The fracture of your psyche deepens, intensifying the -1 penalty. Your identity splinters, causing further disarray in your ability to navigate the world and interact meaningfully. So, as Chai's psyche splits, where are we?
In my
Chai's
memory.
In Chai's memory, I'm going to need everyone to make me a wisdom saving throw.
Intrigue. 15.
15?
14.
14?
Natural 20.
Heck yeah,
Do I
dude.
do it?
You do it too.
Okay. 23.
23.
Now
Nice.
now I roll
Awesome.
good.
So, with a 23, the memory that you guys are currently in starts to, you feel like, have an earthquake. And then, all at once, with a 14, you are just going to pass. Everyone is able to maintain where they were. I won't describe what is going on because we will get to that when somebody fails. Chai, you are in the essence of soul splitting. Tell me what you are feeling as your psyche begins to fracture and you are starting to feel not yourself. What are the feelings as Chai's soul starts to split?
So everything feels like it was going in fast motion for a second. You know,
Yes.
I mean, I was teleported away and all of a sudden I was being attacked. I tried to defend myself. Like, so much happened. And I feel like as soon as that soul splitting started to happen, that all of a sudden everything's slow motion. And I mean, to kind of riff off of like the life flashing before your eyes kind of a feeling, like all of a sudden I'm thinking about the exact moment that I'm in right now, and then the battle that I was in like 30 seconds ago.
Yes.
And then being in my memory, and so having this fresh memory that I haven't thought about and who knows how long from 5 years ago, plus remembering that I've been dead, I'm in a totally different plane, and having that life flashing before my eyes of the actual life that I lived. It is easy to imagine that it's super dizzying, you know, and that like Chai is having a moment of losing herself a little bit.
Absolutely. As you're kind of feeling this Drider poison seep into your veins, you feel a little hopeless. But with that, that is the end of the horror's turn. Chai, you are up.
Perfect.
Go if I win.
You currently have the dying condition with your soul splitting. You are under the effects of the slow spell, meaning that you are limited to one action, quote unquote, per turn. You can either take an action, a bonus action, or a movement on your turn. Additionally, you lose the ability to cast full action spells, but cantrips and bonus action spells remain.
How does it appear?
Your soul looks almost like fuzzy TV. Like think
Like
of
literally like okay.
Like, think of
that's
a-
how I was picturing it
yeah,
already.
think of like a bad signal TV from like the 90s when
holographic
where
in
it
and
looks
out, like
where it looks
staticky.
like there are multiple versions that are just disillusioning this character.
like
so
Loki time jumping.
like Loki time jumping. I haven't seen it.
Just like that.
When a creature is stabilized or when their HP has reached above 0, the dying condition ends, but the creature still retains their levels of soul splitting. So you are currently at 2 of 6. At 6, you die. 6, you're gone. 6, you become a will-o'-wisp that Talroth
So
could
6
capture.
means I have to be 6 death saving throws? Like failed
Yes.
death saving throws? Okay.
You can get rid of a single level of soul splitting through a long rest. You can get rid of 2 levels of soul splitting through a long rest, in which you also have a meal that Chai's character can prepare. So basically, she can get rid of 2 levels of soul splitting, but it will be at a long rest. Taking damage in the dying condition quickens soul dissolution, causing 1 additional stage of soul splitting, which you've already experienced. And critical hits inflicted against you cause 2 stages of soul splitting. Like I said, 6 soul splitting stages. Your soul will succumb to the full split and you will become a will-o'-wisp and not be able to be saved. You currently have 2, so at the beginning of your round, I'm going to need you to make me a death saving throw.
Okay.
So we'll start turns with death saving throws, and then we can take our 1 action.
Yes.
6.
With a 6, you are going to take an additional level of soul splitting. Oh, would you like to? You can expend 1 of your points of inspiration. So Zell is going to call in.
Chai, no! You have this!
You are going to be able to roll that death save again.
I feel encouraged.
Yes.
I'm assuming I heard some sort of cry from Chai or
so
like
glad
some
you're
desperation
here.
where I'm like,
What is that?
A 6.
Another 6? Wow. Okay. So,
Nice and
unfortunately,
consistent.
Zell calls out and tries to stabilize you, tries to shock you into stabilizing your memory. However, you are going to fracture further into the shadows resurfacing portion of soul splitting, meaning that past shadows reappear, haunting your every move. Now you have a -2 penalty to each of your d20 checks that is accompanied by the resurgence of unresolved issues.
I feel like before I was having that dizzying feeling of like just so much going on, but as I feel myself slipping more into the soul splitting, I'm definitely going to be thinking only about my kids, about my daughter and my son. It's like the same fear that I had when I died the first time of like, I'm not going to be able to see them again. I'm not going to be able to help them. I'm never going to be able to fix things with my son. But now it feels so much more permanent. You know, I found my footing in what it's like to die, and I'm realizing that I'm going a step beyond that.
You start feeling like death was the end. And there's almost a calmness that comes over the thought of death as the end. And now that you are realizing there is fear, there is anxiety, there is pain and heartache after death, you start to feel horrified. You are halfway to becoming one of the will-o'-wisps that, like Talroth has in his lantern. Chai, you have an action, bonus action, or movement. What would you like to do with your turn as you are feeling split?
Does healing do anything?
Yes. And
Yeah, should I-
if,
Healing
if,
brings
if
her
she's
back
if she's
up.
brought above 0 hit points, which currently she's just at 0, if she's brought above 0 hit points, she's out of the dying condition.
She loses all of her effects.
No.
No, but
The
she
effects
so
stay.
she comes back to 1 HP, but she has the same effects.
She still
as
has the-
level 3 that she's at.
She
right
still has
now.
the -2 penalty, but other
Okay.
than that, the dying condition is gone. She
Okay.
no longer makes death
Oh,
saves.
that's so interesting.
Can
I'm
I do?
really happy with how
It
this
is cool. I like it. Can I do healing word on myself?
You absolutely can. It's a bonus action spell, correct?
Yeah.
Yes.
Chai, you can't die right now. You can't die for the second time. It's too soon. There's things for you to do. There are people who are dependent on you. You can't go right now. And I'm gonna cast healing word on myself at level 2.
Absolutely. Go ahead and roll me 2d4 to see how much HP you regain.
9 health points for me.
You start to feel reinvigorated as you kind of give yourself this self-coaching. Zell, you're hearing through this Drider web this pained soul of Chai begging to come back to life so that she could see her kids another day, or at least not be lost to the endless void. And with that, that is the end of Chai's turn. Talroth, you are up. You are 40 feet away from the blue and green horrors who are currently attacking Javi. What would you like to do?
I will once again cast Toll the Dead on the blue one as I start running towards it. So I'm just going to say, her soul is splitting. We must get to her before the memory dissolves. And I will, start ringing my bell as I go towards it. Wisdom saving throw.
It's a 5.
Oh, okay. So 6 points of necrotic damage to it.
6 points. And that's because you did a d12, right?
Mm-hmm.
As the aching sound chimes out from this Toll of the Dead bell, go ahead and tell me how you would like to bury the feeling of fear.
It's kind of like goopy, right? Like the
It
beast
is a blue ichor. Yes.
Okay.
So like syrup like matter is dripping off of this.
I just want, when you hear the 3 rings of the bell, I want the first one to like start pushing it back, the second one to like knock a bunch of the ichor back onto the ground, and then the third one to just splatter it completely across the ground.
Absolutely. Splatters onto the ground, and it grabs at where its ears would be, and then and splatters all over the memory. There's blue everywhere. It looks like a blue man group concert gone wrong, and the blue ichor starts to drift through the ground of the memory, and it disappears. And with that, is that the end of your turn, Talroth?
Yes, that'll be my turn.
Zell, you are up. You just heard Chai give this pep talk to herself of like, it's gonna be okay. You are outside of this gigantic Drider's web.
Am I able to like run into it, or could I like slash my way
You could
in?
absolutely slash your way in.
Do I think Chai is within 60 feet of me?
Chai is 100% within 60 feet of you. You can feel Chai on the other edge of this Drider web. You put your hand up to it to see if Chai is close by. The sticky web gives way, and you can feel Chai's horrified body on the other side slowly starting to succumb to soul dissolution.
As I hear you pep talking yourself, big, yes, that's it. You've got this. And I shout. I don't know. I rolled that because I'm casting. I'm doing rallying shout, which is a variation of second wind, where I also give my fighter level of HP to Chai.
So you cast Second Wind on yourself, and then Chai will also gain 3 points of hit points. So you regain 3 hit points. And how many hit points do you receive?
13.
13 hit points.
Woohoo.
So you bolster up Chai, thereby bolstering up yourself. Is there anything else you would like to do with your turn, Zell?
And I'd like to just plow through if I can. I don't have
Yeah.
an action.
You can
oh, no,
use-
I
you
do
can-
have an action because, sorry,
Rallying shout is a bonus action.
Yeah,
I
bonus
believe.
action. So yeah, I'll hack and slash to Chai if possible.
Yes, roll me a sleight of hand check, as it is going to be difficult to not hit Chai. What is that?
But I didn't roll yet.
You didn't roll yet? Oh, the natural one's just gone.
It's
a point
gone.
of inspiration
Erased.
has been given.
I don't know what you're saying.
2 natural ones.
11.
With an 11, roll me a d4.
A 3.
Chai, the 3 points of damage that you just healed from yourself is slashed away as Zell cuts you out of this Drider web, but slashes into your tendons a little bit.
Oh, that don't mean a thing.
As the Driders are clamoring out after you.
Mostly just for flavor, but Zell would position aggressively between Chai and the oncoming Drider.
Absolutely. So you were able to cut Chai out with neutral damage because you heal her for 3, damage her for 3, and then impose yourself in front of the Driders. Is that the end of your turn, Zell?
Yes, that is the end of my turn.
Zale, oh my goodness, thank you so much for saving me. I wasn't gonna make it out of there. I'm not meant to be alone. I need people. I really didn't think I was gonna leave that place. I literally don't know what I was gonna do without you. I owe my whole life to you. I owe my second life to you. I will do anything for you. I owe you everything.
You hear battle, and you are going to gain the guidance spell for your next turn as
Heck yeah!
Puddle casts guidance on you for saving Chai. And with that, that is the end of Zell's turn. Javi, you are up. Talroth has just dispatched the fear blue horror that has seeped into the ground like a, again, terrible Blue Man Group concert gone wrong. There is only a green, anxiety-causing horror in front of you. What would you like to do with your turn?
How far away from me is it?
You are within melee
right there?
distance.
Okay.
Yes.
Last turn you mentioned that Javi noticed Finn was gone.
Yes.
He's gonna quickly look around. Finn, where are you?
Silence.
Just nothing.
Mhm.
He has no idea where he went. But
No
he's
idea.
Not where he was. Even though realizing Finn is not where he should be, looks around, a little frantic for a second, but then realizes he's got a bigger problem right in front of him. Right.
Exactly.
Javi's also just ecstatic to be fighting in
Right.
this suit. He doesn't remember it having the suit before, so he's gonna do the exact same thing. He's gonna booming blade. You're gonna see almost like a little force field come out of the gauntlets, and he's gonna make another attack at the green horror.
Absolutely. Go ahead and roll to hit.
11.
11, unfortunately, will not hit.
You set that up so well.
You set that up really well. The lightning enshrouds your gauntlets, and you reach out. All of a sudden, the green, anxiety-causing monster is going to appear to be Finn for a moment.
And it's gonna miss.
Yeah,
intentionally.
and you
Gonna reroute his shot.
reroute your shot in order to miss.
And then, as a bonus action, Javi is going to cast Sanctuary on himself, rather than seeing like magic necessarily. You'll see him like bring his arms down, and you'll see like his face and every part of his body that is exposed in his suit will mechanize, and the gears will turn, and it will close, so he's fully encapsulated. And that is the end.
We're going to go back around to the horror's turn. There's only a single horror left. Seeing that, Javi, you've engulfed yourself in your own armor. Noticing that Talroth is too far away, it is going to press on this Ichor, Talroth. You watch as this green Ichor starts to try and claw its way into the armor of Javi. And Javi, I'm going to need you to make me...
Do you need to make a wisdom save to even hit me, though?
Yes, I need to make a
Do.
wisdom save.
Be bad. Be bad.
It's bad.
Good.
I've not rolled well. That is a 10 wisdom save to try and
Fail.
attack you.
So you either will have to redirect or lose the attack if no one else is in range.
No one else is in range. So it will have to...
Alec learned
It will lose its action. So that is the end of the horror's turn. Chai, you are up. You have been split 3 ways with your soul. However, you are now in the net positive with your healing word and Zell's bolstering words. What would you like to do with it as you are now back? Still kind of soul split, but doing okay.
Am I on solid ground?
Yes, you have been cut from the Drider's web. There is a horde of Driders coming out of this Drider nest. Chai, what would you like to do with your turn?
I would like to cast Dragon's Breath, which means I can touch a willing creature, and I'm going to choose a fire damage, and until the spell ends, the creature can use an action to exhale energy of the chosen type, so fire damage, in a 15-foot cone, and each creature in that area must make a dexterity save, taking 3d6 damage on a failed save or half as much on a success.
Yeah, okay. So, and you give that power to Zell? Yes.
Puddle.
So,
Yeah, so actually I have have either not successfully casted the spells I have tried to, or I was, in a web while casting things. So I think this is the first time any of our characters have witnessed me casting a spell.
Yeah, a little bit of surprise. Like,
Yes. So here's my abilities and powers. So when I cast spells, there's a lot of I use the components that are in my pouch,
Right.
which we just talked about, previously, that I have a special pouch that has a lot of really awesome stuff in it.
like ingredients
Ingredients
from the
and
Feywild.
tools and everything.
Right.
So when I'm casting, using those objects, or even just little bits of whatever's around me, maybe it's leaves or sticks or whatever, it kind of creates this wind around me, and so the materials that I need will come out of my bag, or anything else that's kind of around will kind of swirl up in the air while I'm casting this. So that's what it looks like when I'm casting things. So I'm gonna do that, and I'm gonna say that this time it's gonna maybe be a little smoky or something in the air as I cast this on Zell. I'll put my hand on his shoulder and infuse him with this dragon's breath.
Yes, so you feel the essence of the dragon as you breathe in this smoky air, and you feel that you are able to exhale a dragon's breath on your turn. Talroth, we're going to go back over to your turn. So Zell, we'll put a pause on that for a
I was just gonna do
second.
the flavor of you can see him breathing in as the camera scene shifts.
Yes. So you see Zell breathe in this smoke, and then fire fills his eyes. And Talroth, what would you like to do with your turn?
I will run up to the last one that my armored acquaintance is fighting, and I am going to swing my flail around, bring it above my head, and try to smash it down on the grey ichor.
Absolutely. Go ahead and roll to hit.
16.
A 16 will absolutely hit.
Smite.
You're going to smite?
it.
Okay.
7 points of bludgeoning damage melee, and then additional 2 points of radiant damage for smite.
14 points of damage have been dealt to this anxiety monster, and I'm not going to have you roll me a wisdom saving throw because it starts to form into one of your fears, one of your anxieties, and then the will-o-wisp light starts to boom out from your flail as you hit into the face of this horror, causing it to take an additional 2 points of radiant damage, and it skitters away as you hit it. And with that, is that the end of your turn, Talroth?
Yes. Does it seem that they are more harmed by radiant damage in general, or was that just flavor?
As you're noticing it start to get kind of burned by this, make me a religion check.
18.
You notice this feeling of anxiety as you cast this radiant damage starts to shrink into itself. This radiant damage has had an additional effect on this monster. It seems that it is vulnerable to your smites.
Okay. Punish them with the divine.
Javi will just... He's crazy.
And we're going to pan away from Javi trying to figure out how he can cast God through his fists. And we're going to go back over to Zell, who is breathing in an immense amount of smoke to cast this dragon's breath. Is that what you would like to do with your action? All of the 7 Driders are going to be in this range. The Driders have held their action because they were hoping to get a more advantageous position. So you're going to be able to hit all 7 Driders. If any of the Driders don't die from this, they are vulnerable to fire damage. If any of the Driders don't die from this, they will be attacking Chai. So that is the stakes here. Is it a dexterity saving throw that they have to pass?
Yep.
A Drider Hatchling's dexterity bonus is +1. So not great. 13 or higher to pass. There will be 7 of these. That is a dirty 20 and a 13. The 13 will not pass. So 1 is going to hit. That is a natural 2 and another 19. So 2 is going to hit. A third 19 and a 15, a 5. 4 are going to pass. 3 are going to fail. They are vulnerable, which means whatever you get is doubled.
Woo! Okay, 9 damage.
9 damage doubled. So 18 points of damage as you breathe this huge cacophony of fire, and it starts erupting the webbing. All of these Driders are going to be burned alive. Chai, you feel so well placed with the spell that you cast as you see all of these Driders go up in flames and are gone. No horrors are around you. No Driders are around. The entire Drider's nest has gone up in a blaze, and you can only hear the sound of anxiety well in the distance with Talroth and Javi.
That was quite powerful force you just endowed me with.
I'm gonna lean up against your shoulder. I work better in a team.
Well, you will be welcome in my team at any time.
Well, good. Hopefully we'll not have many reason to need to do that again. All right, so let's go find our friends, and we'll hustle on that way.
Well, I'll see you there, and then I'll use my movement.
Yeah. Your way 30 feet towards them. 20 feet away, Javi, you are up. There is currently one enemy currently on the battlefield that you are able to see. You do know that Shrubby is gone somewhere that has not been found. What would you like to do?
Javi will again do a quick scan, see if he can see Finn.
Make me an Arcana check.
Dirty 20.
With a dirty 20, you are able to hone in on the location of homing devices that you've placed onto Finn. Finn is exactly where you'd expect him to be, with Puddle hanging out in the fishbowl trying to figure out what Puddle is.
With Chai?
With Chai 50 feet away.
Okay. Even just knowing where Finn is, Javi's anxiety goes away.
And then you punch into this. Go ahead and roll with advantage.
So yeah, realizing the anxiety is just trying to get in his head. He's going to hit even harder. Dirty 20.
Absolutely will hit. And as you are describing this, go ahead and tell me how this thunder damage is going to beat the anxiety out of your brain.
Okay. As Javi, again, he's still just getting used to this suit. He's just excited that it's working. Right? He worked for so long on it. That's all he knows. He worked forever on this thing. And as he charges up, you see that same kind of like aura force field come off of it. He's going to do another huge punch. But this time, as it hits, it's going to go within the creature, and like the concussive, like just the shock wave will come out from inside of it, and all the ichor and everything will explode in just all directions as it makes contact.
Absolutely. So you punch into this green ichorous form, and it explodes everywhere. You look past the explosion, and you see past this Feywild clearing that you're on is a 50-foot drop of a cliff, and you hear down this 50-foot cliff, "Help! This thing's got me! Oh, there's 3 doors! Oh!" and then silence as Shrubby seems to have been taken to another memory portal. You look down this cliff, Javi, and you notice 3 doorways, each with a different memory behind it. As you are trying to peer into each of the memories, that is where we're going to end our session for the night. My name is Cade, the host and Grin Reaper of this Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition adventure, and I am joined here by the frickin' talented players to my left.
Brooklyn, playing Chai.
Alec playing Javi.
Mason playing Talroth.
And Danny playing Xelborath Wilderton.
Thank you so much for listening. We hope that you have had a amazing time listening to us getting to know our Campaign 3 Dead Season characters. I have loved your guys' characters so much. I'm so excited for the coming episodes. And, I mean, this has been amazing for me to be able to just kind of have this creative outlet, to be able to kind of explore this new form of storytelling with you guys. And thank you so much for being here. And please go on over to patreon.com/knocked and check out our Patreon exclusive Talked Prone, where do I hear a goat?
Well, hello.
Where Danny will take on the role of Kelric as our wonderful satyr host, who
The mortal planes just weren't enough to contain me.
who
Yes.
guides our players through a wonderful after show. So please go check that out. Again, that's patreon.com/knocked, and subscribe to any tier to be able to hear our Talked Prone after show. Thank you so much for being here, and we hope that you remember when life knocks you flat on your back, all you got to do is keep on rolling, and we hope you have a wonderful rest of your afterlife. Thanks.